Orange, it might actually help you express your feelings. Feelings.
You're supposed to cut an orange in half, then take the fruit out of the peel, but leave the stem intact. Pour in olive oil, grab a lighter, and there should be a spark. Nothing at first. We tried again and again. We even tried lighting the stem that stuck out of the orange, and nothing.
Just like every relationship, every orange is different, and this half is actually better than that one because the pulp came out cleaner. Let's see if fourth time's a charm.
Nope. We waited 10 minutes for the fruit to soak in the oil, and that did the trick. It finally worked. Ignite that flame between you and your main squeeze. This hack is no bull.
Do you want to do something thoughtful for your significant other? Maybe leave them a nice message. Well, we're testing out a fun hack.
Grab a banana, take a tack, needle, or safety pin, make sure it's clean, then poke a message into the banana peel.
Wow, it starts browning instantly so you can see the message loud and clear. So you could even write, "I'm bananas for you," or "You drive me bananas." Either way.
This hack is no bull.
If this next hack works, it'll help you make a toast to your love.
If it's a pop-top bottle and you don't have an opener, this hack may help if it works. Take a can of soda and use the rim to pop open the top. It took us several minutes and a lot of force, but eventually it came off. So I have to say no bull, though I don't recommend it. There are much easier options out there. Weren't these hacks lovely? Well, for these ideas and more, go to abc15.com/smartshopper.
Ah, interesting. I know some dentists watching us won't like this, but I've seen people open them with their teeth.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
about
Use
that.
the boot. It
Use
works.
the boot. You can use the
heard.
heel, your ring. You can use the table. Lots of different
Sure.
ways. So that one wasn't very great. But also I saw people folding up a dollar bill. And then once you have it in kind of like a little rectangle shape, you can pop it open. It didn't work. But we'll try it again, then we'll let you know if it changes.
All right, well, thanks
Love
for those
all
tips.
these. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yes, you're welcome.
Well, we've got a live look here. This is the Dutch Bros at 32nd Street in Indian School, and they are celebrating Dutch Love Day.
They're donating $1 from every drink purchased to St. Mary's Food Bank to spread the love. This is at all locations here in Arizona.
Well, praise versus punishment. This is a discussion every parent and teacher have had, right? We've got the result of a new study looking at which is better.
Plus this, a disgruntled former employee. That's how authorities are describing a man who is accused of deliberately causing a crash with a WAYMO vehicle.
Well, we are in for a gorgeous weekend, and it is definitely bragging season. Our temperature in Phoenix, 49 degrees. Chilly for us, right? But check out temperatures in other parts of the country. That Chicago skyline looks gorgeous, but I wouldn't want to be outside. That temperature, air temperature, at 2 degrees below zero, with wind chills running about 10 to 15 degrees below zero. So we'll take our chilly weather in the 40s this morning. By this afternoon, heading back into the 70s, too. We are going to see a few high clouds here this morning, but then those clouds thin out as the day goes on. And I think by lunchtime, clear skies. Now, if you've got plans to head out to dinner tonight, we'll reach that high of 71 in that 4 o'clock hour. By 6 p.m., down to 68. I think we'll see a few thin high clouds drift in just in time for sunset. So be on the lookout for what I think is going to be a pretty sunset tonight as you're celebrating Valentine's Day, maybe. Then temperatures down into the low 60s by 8 p.m., 60 degrees by 9 o'clock, 50s after that. The weekend gets warmer. 72 and sunny on Saturday, 74 and mostly sunny on Sunday. President's Day looking pretty good too, with a high of 74, and it looks like we are going to continue to hold on to those highs in the low 70s through much of next week.
Okay, Iris, thank you so much. More proof that positive reinforcement works. Just out this morning, some new research showing kids focus on tasks up to 30% more when teachers praise them for good behavior rather than reprimanding them for being disruptive. The study comes from BYU, and it takes a closer look at kids from kindergarten to 6th grade for 3 years. And it turns out the higher the amount of praise, the better the results.
Positive reinforcement there. Well, the sound of celebration for a 10-year-old who has been battling cancer for more than a year now. Braden Felix was diagnosed with neuroblastoma in 2018 after several rounds of chemotherapy and surgery to remove a tumor. We were there as Braden was officially declared cancer-free.
It's a very special day because it's been a hard, rough year, and it's no kid wants to go through this.
Absolutely not, and we're so proud of you, Braden. So what's next for him? He says he's looking forward to going on an African safari, which is coming up in May. He's doing awesome.
And
there.
so much to look forward to, right?
Good job.
Up next at 6:30, if you haven't found your other half yet, your better half, maybe you've thought about going online to do so. Coming up, Joe lets you know what you should be watching out for when it comes to scammers lurking everywhere.
So you're saying you have a problem with the tweets?
Yes. Well, I have a problem with some of the tweets.
It's an ABC News exclusive. Attorney General William Barr talking about the president's social media activity and how it's making his job even more difficult.
This is ABC 15 Mornings.
This morning, the ABC 15 investigators are arming you with information that you need to keep your kids safe and avoid a daycare disaster.
And feel better about it, right? Because it is one of the hardest things to do as a parent. Drop your baby off to strangers while you go off to work. But you do not have to do this blindly.
Here's ABC 15 investigator COURTNEY Holmes.
7:30 on a Friday morning.
911 emergency.
A mom driving down a busy Mesa street sees someone on Guadalupe Road who shouldn't be there.
There was a little girl that ran into the street and she can't find her mom. How old is she? How old are you, Susan?
Just 4 years old, according to this Mesa police report. Officers walked her around the neighborhood to find her house, but that wasn't going to happen.
She seems really scared.
Because this 4-year-old didn't slip away from home. She slipped away from daycare, likely through a hole in a playground fence, documents show. After about a half hour, police put it together, returned the little girl to daycare, and informed mom. But the only reason we know about it, the only way any parent could, is to look it up. The Arizona Department of Health Services inspects the more than 2,500 child care providers throughout our state. Much of what it finds is available online. Yes. Spokesperson Colby Bauer says every deficiency gets a citation.
We asked the provider to give us a plan to fix those deficiencies, and we'll go back out and check to make sure that those deficiencies are fixed.
Love to Learn, or as it's listed with the state, Love and Learn, got the fence repaired, telling inspectors it was vandalized. A $900 fine for them. Still, Bauer says azcarecheck.com is just one part to checking out your kid's daycare.
We always recommend the parent goes on site unannounced, asks for a tour of the facility, and just observe how are the staff interacting with other children.
Now, is there a preschool you'd like to look up? The information for the last 3 years is available, and we've got a link for you at abc15.com. In the newsroom, COURTNEY Holmes, ABC 15, Arizona.
Yeah, such important information COURTNEY's giving all of us this morning.
Yeah, again, for peace of mind. Hey, on this Friday, we want to say thanks for waking up with us. Statehood Day, Valentine's Day, maybe Singles Awareness Day.
There we go.
Whatever you're celebrating as we cruise into a holiday weekend, we're grateful that you're here with us. We want to check in with Iris Hermosillo for a look at that forecast.
Yeah, and we are grateful for this awesome weather that we're about to experience here this weekend. This morning is a bit chilly, but what you're not going to see are any spots in the 30s. So unlike the last few mornings, our temperatures are starting off a little bit higher this morning. The cooler spots, Buckeye at 41, Maricopa, you're also at 41 degrees. It's 43 in Apache Junction, Gilbert, Queen Creek, and the Santan Valley, all at 45. Mesa, all the way down to 45 as well, at least in some of our Mesa neighborhoods. Mid to upper 40s from Glendale to Peoria to Surprise here at this hour. Valentine's Day will be a gorgeous one in the Valley of the Sun. We are starting out with some high clouds this morning, and I think those high clouds stick around through sunrise, even into mid-morning, but they'll thin out by lunchtime. That temperature up to 63 degrees by noon. We'll reach a high today of 71 in that 4 o'clock hour. Then by 5 p.m., maybe as you're leaving work, getting ready for dinner, that temperature right around 70 with just a few thin high clouds out there, mostly sunny and dry this evening. Now the weekend looks dry too, but also warmer. I'm going to take you through those climbing temperatures in that 7-day forecast. Chelsea, you've got an update though on those Friday morning roads.
Yes, and it is Friday Light, Iris, which is what all of us love to hear. It's music to our ears as we start the weekend. If you're traveling on the east side of town, US 60 in the westbound direction connecting to I-10 is just a little slow, but the rest of your valley commute on the east side of town at least is showing all green flows. From the west side, you'll see your normal delays on I-10 as you travel eastbound approaching Loop 101 and approaching the Stack. I-17, your brakes begin at Peoria as you're traveling southbound. Stay pretty steady, stop and go around the Durango curve to the Split as well. And just in case you wanted a desert drive time for that east side of town, if you're traveling westbound on US 60 from the 202 over to I-10, it'll take you 21 minutes, not too shabby.
Okay, thank you very much, Chelsea. Almost 6:35 now. A self-driving Waymo van crashes into the back of a car when the driver stops suddenly in front of it. And police believe all of this was orchestrated by a disgruntled employee. The crash happening near Rural and Warner in Tempe. It happened last month. Now, officers are saying the guy driving that dark-colored car is Raymond Tang, and he used to work for Waymo. They say he admitted to brake checking the self-driving van. Police in Chandler are also investigating similar incidents, they say, that could involve Tang.
It's a bill that has almost everybody giving an opinion this morning. Nearly 1,000 of you have posted your thoughts about a bill that would ban transgender girls from playing on certain sports teams. Carla Navarrete live outside the state capitol. So Carla, we know this bill is now heading down to the full House here. Break down exactly what it entails and what the controversy is over this morning, because this is important.
Absolutely. This is House Bill 2706, and as you mentioned, it passed the committee in the House yesterday. It's going to the full House, which Republican lawmakers believe it'll pass easily and then move over to the Senate in the next, it could be the next couple of days, even a couple of weeks. Now, the bill would prohibit a transgender athlete from playing on the school sports team based on how they identify. Basically, a person who was born a boy but now identifies as a girl would not be allowed to play on the girls' team. Now, the law would apply to all public and private schools, also universities and community colleges throughout Arizona. Now, some think this law would protect women's rights, but others, they call it simply discrimination.
Bill is a direct attack on the LGBTQ community, and I'm going to call it what it is.
I understand the feelings part, the emotional part, but nobody's talking about the emotional damage that's happening to women as a result of males participating and competing against them.
Yeah, this is definitely sparking a very big and heated debate between the two sides. Now, I will tell you, this is a conversation not only here in Arizona, but across the nation. Yesterday in Connecticut, a family of 3 female athletes filed a lawsuit wanting to block transgender athletes from participating in track meets and competing in them. Also, Arizona is not the only state with this similar type of legislation. There are 6 other states throughout the country that are having similar conversations at those state capitals. For now, I'm Carla Navarrete for ABC 15 Arizona.
Carla, thank you for that. Now to that ABC News exclusive. In a new interview, Attorney General William Barr insists President Donald Trump never told him to ease the prison sentence of his longtime friend Roger Stone. Stone was convicted of witness tampering, lying to Congress, and obstructing the Mueller investigation into Russia's election meddling. Prosecutors originally recommended he spend up to 9 years behind bars, but Barr overruled that right around the same time the president tweeted about the case.
I had made a decision that I thought was fair and reasonable in this particular case. And once the tweet occurred, the question is, well, now what do I do?
Barr went on to say the president should not interfere with the Justice Department, and you can hear more of that interview coming up on Good Morning America right after ABC 15 News this morning.
6:38, another sharp rise in the number of coronavirus cases. The death toll now climbing to 1,400. 5,000 new cases just diagnosed, bringing the total number now to more than 65,000 across the world. Most are in China. Officials say this sudden surge might not be because of new patients, but instead more accurate testing. Meantime, a Glendale couple stranded right now on a cruise ship. They are in Japan because of this coronavirus outbreak. His name is Bob Dixon. He's sharing this video with us of a coronavirus patient being taken off the Diamond Princess cruise ship. He says passengers are getting checked daily for the virus, and they are halfway through that 14-day quarantine.
We're fortunate that we have a balcony so we can go outside. I feel very sorry for the people that have inside cabins.
He's from Glendale, and he says that they are expected to be released next Wednesday.
Time now is 6:36, Valentine's Day, the day of love, of course, but it's also a holiday that scammers are targeting. On New this morning, a warning that Joe lets you know why you should keep an eye on family members who might be searching online for a soulmate.
Online dating puts potential mates at your fingertips. It can also be setting you up for scammers.
These people are master manipulators.
Suzanne Allen, a special agent with the FBI in Phoenix, says they're seeing individuals of all ages falling victim to so-called romance scams.
We've had people who are facing foreclosure, the loss of their houses. They have no more money anymore.
In fact, in 2019, scammers got away with more than $5.6 million just here in Arizona.
We had 419 victims. That averages out to a rate of over 1 per day.
Of course, there are legitimate ways to find mates online, but Suzanne says look for the warning signs, people who always seem interested in your interests, or people who refuse to meet in person. If they do agree to meet in person, Suzanne says you should still be cautious. In 2017, we told you about Dalen Pierce. He's currently serving more than 15 years behind bars for scamming Valley women he met online, and then in person, making promises he never kept.
We had victims giving him retirement accounts, inheritances, and it was under the auspices of him trying to invest these funds. He wasn't investing the funds at all. He was spending it.
Suzanne, who worked the case, says Pierce was caught because the victims decided to speak up.
They were embarrassed about what had happened, and they almost didn't want to even address it, but because other people had come forward first, they felt comfortable in coming forward and speaking with us as well.
So again, if a person refuses to meet in person, or if they ask you to wire money, it's likely a scam. And make sure you talk to your parents and grandparents. Too many times they're involved in this, too embarrassed to talk about it, and you don't find out until it's too late. Go to abc15.com/letjoe know for more ways to report this scam. I'm investigator Joe Ducey. If you got a problem, let me know.
All good advice, Joe. Well, more than just a name change for an East Valley venue, what's happening at the Odyssey and the changes that are coming?
Plus, Americans are divided on all kinds of issues, especially right now. New for you this morning, the one political topic that nearly all voters do agree on.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
Welcome back, everybody. We had a small crash. It was on US 60 in the westbound direction, but it already cleared, so I'm not even going to make it a big deal because we're back to green flows. I-10 right now, you will start to see a lot of red popping up as you're making your way into downtown Phoenix, approaching the stack, also just before you get to the mini stack, but we're used to that for this time of day. If you're traveling on the east side of town, US 60, see how there's a little bit of red right here, right before you get to I-10. The crash was closer to Mill Avenue, and that's why you're going to see some of the slowing. Those brakes will unwind since no lanes are blocked anymore. It was originally blocking the HOV lane, so you'll be back to green flows, or at least yellow flows, in no time. If we're traveling up north here, Loop 101 is still just a little slow between I-17 and the 51, but overall your desert drive times still look pretty good. If you're traveling up north, heads up. I-17 near Bloody Basin, small crash there off to the side, and it's not impacting the flows. I'll show you some desert drive times here in just a few minutes, but I have to bring in my friend Iris, who has a gorgeous dress on today.
Oh, you're so
Work it, girl.
Hey, you know, we're just getting into that Valentine's Day mode, that's for sure. I wanted to show you a view from our South Mountain camera. This is pointed to the south. It looks a little gray right now. We're waiting for more of that sunlight, but what I really wanted to point out are those clouds that we're seeing. You can already start to get a view of them as we start to get a little bit of daylight out there, and that's exactly what you're going to see as you step outside. But don't worry, you don't need to turn around and grab that umbrella. It's going to stay dry. These clouds stick around through the morning, and then they thin out as we go towards midday, and we'll see more sunshine here this afternoon. Now, but because of those clouds, our temperatures are running a little bit warmer, so those clouds kind of trap in that heat a little bit, and our temperature is about 5 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago in Phoenix, 11 degrees warmer in Payson, and we're about 3 to 6 degrees warmer in spots like Flagstaff to Window Rock. Now, you'll see those clouds